Nothing brings a smile to people's faces or gets those toes tapping faster than some good old American rock and roll. And in southern New England, no one plays it better than the Great Garage Band Reunion. A group of 6 high school friends started playing together 50 years ago during the heart of the rock and roll era. Back then, this local garage band was known as the Continentals.
And we were all like 13, 14, 15 years old. Had a good time, played a lot of band jobs.
And we wore red blazers and white ascots and white flare pants and black beetle boots and sunglasses. We were sharp. That was when the British invasion was going on, and that's how everyone was dressing. We grew up on Runnell Street, and there was a band over on Killinglyhightv Drive that we used to have the kind of subtle battle of the bands with, because we would set up our equipment outdoors, and we would hear them playing over on Killinglyhightv Drive. So we set up all of our stuff on Runnell Street and turned the volume up on the amps as loud as we could, and played. And in those days, neighborhoods were neighborhoods. You know, they were pretty forgiving, and they would let kids go out and do that kind of stuff and play rock and roll out there. But it was really about friendships, and it was about just playing rock and roll and having a fun time, and that part was great.
There used to be a show on TV every day on Channel 8. It was the Admiral Jack show, the children's show more or less. And he, in the summertime, he used to tour New England and do talent shows. And it came to Killer Memorial School one day. And so we decided to get into it. We did, and we won it. And he really liked us. So he asked us if we would be his house band for that summer for all his talent shows that he did around New England. So for that entire summer, we were like 13, 14 years old. We traveled with him every weekend. We would open his show and close his show. And
it used to be great because they were young kids. They didn't know who we were, all young kids, but they didn't know who we were. And so it was like the Beatles or someplace, someone playing somewhere, and people would scream and come to the stage. And so it was an exciting time.
From that, the band kept expanding through the years and expanding through the years. And it went really well, and until everybody got into the late teens, early 20s, between the Army, college, and that kind of thing, everything kind of split up.
Dick actually saw me off when I was leaving for the service. The morning I was waiting for the bus to be drafted, Dick came down and stood on the corner in front of Surplus Store and we were waiting for the bus to New Haven to be sworn in.
John then had to go off to Vietnam. Jim went off to music school. And that was pretty much the end of music for me. I think I was probably going in my junior year of high school.
Despite going their separate ways, that wasn't the end of the Continentals. After more than 30 years apart, the Friends were reunited in 2001, this time as the Great Garage Band Reunion.
We had a friend of ours that had passed away, and the premise was we were just going to get the old band that we had from 1963 together, and we were going to do a benefit for him. And as it turned out, we got 4 out of the 6 original members from 1963. The next thing I know, we're actually rehearsing, we're playing, we're singing. It was amazing to do that.
And so when he decided to do this again, he called me. I live in Maine, and called me, and it was basically like the Blues Brothers question, you know, we're putting the band back together, are you interested?
About 12 or 13 years ago, I got a call from Jim and said, hey, you feel like playing again? And I went, who is this? So I hadn't spoken to Jim in probably 10 years. And he goes, this is Jim Malott. And I said, Jim, how are you? And I was very busy at the time, so at that moment I told him no, because I just didn't think I had time. And then I contemplated on it and contemplated on it. A few hours later, I called him back. I said, you know what, if you're willing to give me a shot, I'll give it a try. My drums had about 3 inches of dust on them in the basement. They hadn't been moved in a while.
My wife and I went to a venue at St. Mary's in Putnam, and the Great Garage Band was playing there. And I said to Jim, I said, I didn't know you had started this up again. I said, if you ever need another musician, let me know. And about 2 weeks later, he told me that their lead guitarist at the time decided he didn't want to pursue this anymore, and asked me to come in and play lead guitar. Well, I had just picked up the guitar again, and I said, well, I don't know if I'm ready for that. He says, you'll be fine. And I've been playing with the band ever since.
I got involved back in 2001. I was always known as the quiet one until until I broke my shell and got out of my comfort zone and started playing loud and dancing around. Ever since, I've been in the band.
I've been with the band about 1.5 years, and the way I got into the band was one of the trumpet players, Calvin, I used to work with, and he asked me if I would fill in for one of the guitarists a couple of years ago for 1 or 2 gigs, and I said sure. And I was fortunate enough that Jim liked what he heard, and then when Dick Herklots retired out 1.5 years ago, they asked me back, and I've been with them ever since, and I love it.
We're unique with the fact that we have 6 people that sing, and 6 people that have their own styles. We do harmony, we do whatever, and we do group singing. But I've got a wonderful female vocalist.
The band was singing at Zips one night when I was working for a 4th of July anniversary party. And Jim came in, and I asked him if he ever lets any females get up there to sing. He wasn't too sure about it. I didn't get to sing that day, but he asked me to come down to the school here and sing some Etta James, see if I could be a fit. They asked me to come back and to sing with the bands, and they never formally said, do you want to sing with us? It was like, do you just want to come back and be a part of this?
And we do stuff from the 60s and the 70s and stuff that everybody remembers. And no matter if we start playing, I know that I'm going to be watching feet and I'm going to be watching mouths, because they both work. And there are people all over the place that are just singing along with the music we do.
These guys they love to play, and that's all you can ask.
They love to play so much, they became one of the most respected bands in the area. Well respected not only for their music, but more importantly, for their contributions to the community.
Everything that we do is for charity, and to find people like that are willing to give up their time and their talent, all right, to go out and work for some of these charities.
It's great. I mean, I've been in a number of bands, but this band, it's special in several ways. First of all, we're like family. We all get along together. We never argue about anything, and in a lot of bands that happens quite often. But we just all get along and have a good time. And I think the other thing that makes it special is, the work that we do is to help raise money for charities, and it's our way, at least my way, and everybody else feels the same way, of giving back.
It gets us out. It keeps us young. We've made so much money for so many good people that could really use it. Numerous different charities, hospitals, communities, school systems. Actually, the list just goes on and on. I think we're up around $500,000 that we've raised since we've been together. I think the plan is try to hit $1 million and then retire, if we last that long.
It's really good to help out. Okay, we could be getting paid, but it's good to get good PR, because we are a charitable band and we do like helping people. It's all about giving back to the local community, and I think we've done a great job at that.
The area's always been very supportive to us growing up with the bands back then, and they continue to be very receptive to us as the Great Garage Band reunion. This is how we get back to people, but there's a community filled with individuals who are doing the same thing. They're out there trying to help people in need, and we're just the tip of all those people out there trying to be helpful.
She walks real cool, catches everybody's eye. Got me so nerved up, I can't say hi. Not too skinny, she's not too fat. She's a real humdinger, and I like that. Devil with a blue dress, devil with a blue dress on. Devil with a blue dress, devil with a blue dress on. Good golly, Miss Molly, you sure like a ball. Good golly, Miss Molly.